I'm Jacqueline Kemp. I'm a sophomore coxswain, and I am in the varsity boat.
Jacqueline, your rowing team has one regatta under their belt down at PLU. How'd things go in that initial outing?
Honestly, they went a lot better than we were expecting, and we were able to prove to ourselves where we're at and where we can go from there.
This is your second year on the team, and actually your second year as a coxswain overall. How was that process last year of learning how the trade?
It was rough, but it was really good at the same time. There was definitely a lot of trial by fire and just being thrown into a lot of things, but honestly I like that kind of pressure and working under that type of responsibility, so it was good, and I think that I was able to pick up a lot of things really quickly through just being able to do it.
Well, this is your second year, also head coach Andrew Derrick's second year. A lot of new faces in the Shell House. How are things different this year than last?
Honestly, I think that we're just growing as a team in and of ourselves. The camaraderie just is like never before. We're kind of unique in that sense from a lot of other teams that I've been a part of. I mean, they say that this is, just another team sport, but it isn't. It's more than that, and we're like a family. So that is definitely different, and that's grown a lot in a really positive way this year, and that has honestly influenced our progress throughout the season.
Finals ended last week. This is spring break. Some of your SPU classmates are off doing whatever on spring break. The rowing teams are out there in two-a-days. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, actually. I love spring break and spring training, and I know a lot of the other teammates do too. So it's not a chore. It's not something that, we have to stay and everybody else gets to go do spring break. Like I said before, we're all a family here, and we're all in it together, and we have a great time learning together, and luckily it's been beautiful weather out here, so it's just been fantastic to be here.
The team will be taking a varsity 8 and a 4 down to San Diego for the prestigious Crew Classic. Your thoughts on this weekend, Saturday and Sunday upcoming regatta?
Yeah, I'm honestly so excited. Just seeing the progress that we've had on the water in these last few days of spring training. I know that we can do a lot, and we can show some people that we're back on the map, and I'm very excited for that in the varsity 8 and the varsity 4 only.
You competed in the San Diego Crew Classic last year. What do you remember about that?
Well, I remember it was pretty good weather. I was anticipating it to be a lot worse conditions. Coach prepped me for worse than it was, but that was good. It all went pretty smoothly. We did really well by our standards for last year, but we were not quite up to par with the other teams that we were in competition with.
Does that help you now going back to a venue like Mission Bay that you're familiar with after having a year? Does that give you an advantage as a coxswain?
Absolutely, yeah, because I can visualize exactly where I need to be, maybe things that were difficult last year that I can think about just logistically steering. There's an island in the middle of the warm-up zone, and some little inlets you have to go in and out of, and being wary of all the other boat traffic and blind corners and that. So it does help to have been there before, that I can visualize all of that and plan out just how to do our warm-up in the best way possible so that we can get what we need to get done but not interfere with the other crews.
A lot of people who have not competed in the sport of rowing may have rowed a boat or kayaked or something, so they have a basic knowledge of rowing, even though it's completely different than this. Most people, though, have no idea about being a coxswain. Tell us, what is it that you do?
So, honestly, a lot of people think that coxswains are just kind of the cheerleaders for the boat, but it's a lot more than that. We're kind of the coach in the boat, so coach tells us his plan, and then he expects us to be able to execute it, and to be able to make those tough decisions when we're neck and neck with other boats, to be able to not just know what the warm-up plans are, but to also be able to throw in different things that our crew might need, because in any given warm-up they could be struggling with something very different technically than what they've struggled with before in pre-race warm-ups. So we have to know all of that information, know the crew, know the technique of the stroke, be able to fix things, know how different people work and who needs encouragement when and who needs to be told that they need to work harder. So it's all that psychology and strategy.
Tell us a little about the equipment you're dealing with. First, the steering mechanism.
Yeah, so there's just two strings that you use. You push in the direction that you want the boat to go. So if I want it to go to the right, I push the knob on the right to that direction. But ultimately, you're steering with a very, very small rudder that's about this big. And the thing that really affects it the most is the pressure of the rowers. So it's my job to know when it's actually a steering issue and when it's a pressure issue, and just making sure that ports and starboards alike are matching each other well so that the boat does continue to go straight or in the direction that I'm then moving it.
What other equipment do you have in there with you, including how the people are hearing you?
Yeah, so I have a Cox box, or I use the Cox box Mini. And that's just an amplification device that has a headset that has a microphone that straps to my head, and I can talk through that, and then it plugs into the Mini, which then plugs into the boat, and it amplifies my voice that comes out through a speaker at every rower's feet, so I don't have to yell necessarily, and the bow seat 40 feet away can still hear me. And then I also use a GPS that tells me, it's a speed coach, tells me basically anything I want to know number-wise. So how fast we're going, our stroke rate, our splits, our average splits, how many meters we've gone. I can set it up for different workouts. So usually before a race I'll set it up for 2,000 meters, and that way we can track every 100 meters, how fast we're going, what stroke rate we're at, and that tells us a lot about our consistency and what we need to work on.
Well, let's tell us a little about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm from Burien, Washington.
For those people who aren't locals here, like I am, if you were to get in your car in your home in Burien, how long would it take you to drive to this SPU campus?
Without traffic, 20 minutes, but there's always traffic going that direction, so usually 40 minutes. So.
And why did you choose to attend Salem today?
Honestly, I came to this campus and I thought it was beautiful, and it was close to home. I wanted to stay in the Seattle area because I just love it in Western Washington here. And I also knew a lot of people who went here and they could only say wonderful things about it, so it seemed like a good choice.
Have you selected a major yet?
Yes, so I'm doing a student design major for technical writing.
And where do you want that to take you?
I want to do technical writing, hopefully doing web-based user content for tech companies. Done a couple internships so far. So.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it, and good luck down in San Diego.
Thank you.